Welcome.
It's 7:07.
It's 7:07. It is 7:07?
I hope so.
On the 7:07 show. All right. So welcome. And we will just chat a little bit while we wait for people to join us and to be alerted that we've gone live. This is the launch of a spiritual community endeavor or project. Always sounds like it's like a project. You have to work at projects, right?
This is projects.
Really,
Yeah.
I think this is more of an endeavor, a community gathering.
I don't know. You tell us. What do you think it is?
Okay. So, we're going to be on this particular show trying some new technology. So please, on our launch this evening, please bear with us while we figure out how everything works. We've got Michael Cup producing us, and he literally has like 4 gadgets in front of him, and you will not believe the amount of wires that we are surrounded by. But he's busy figuring things out for us. So good luck, Michael, and don't worry if you muck up. It's only us so far. It's not like we've got somebody famous tuning in and going, "Oh, those people are so unprofessional."
Yeah, just us.
Just us.
But God bless Michael, because he's been researching all of this technology. I said to him earlier, "Thank goodness you did that. I wouldn't want to do that."
Yeah.
So
don't say that, because you also produce, and I'm going to steal you for a couple of shows.
Yeah, but he already figured out how to do it. He just has to teach me. It's the researching part of that. I like to research lots of things, but researching technology is not. I'd rather Michael do it, and then he can just tell me. Okay.
So, why the 7:07 show? Oh, check, there it is. Look.
Woohoo!
Hey, I can see you guys.
Look at this, I joined. How did I do that?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hey,
Maria
Maria.
saying, hi, Moira, Shannon, Michael. Hi, Maria. Thank you for tuning in, honey. We appreciate you being here. Hayden and
Hayden.
Nadira. Hayden's all the way from Australia.
Yeah, what time is it?
Well, it's 7 in Australia where Hayden lives. He's near Perth, I believe. So
Okay.
he's 7 in the morning.
In the morning.
So
Good morning.
He's probably having a cuppa. I bet you that you don't have what we have in our mugs. You've got coffee in yours.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hi, Nadira.
So, my angels, this is a show where we bring a whole bunch of spiritual teachers, leaders, students, anybody interested in spirituality that have been studying the philosophies that we work with, and to come and just talk about life and hopefully interact. As you can see, you feature on the screen, you pop up here, and you can ask questions, and we want to help. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, and start the conversation going, because I know you know my story, and a lot of people do, but spirituality and the things that the filter in which you see the world, if you don't have a community to talk to about what's going on, it can seem scary, strange, not real. And I think that's how a lot of people become almost ungrounded. I know we're going to talk about that, but Michael and I were talking about that earlier. You can become very ungrounded because you think sort of you're the only one, and it's very isolating. So that's what I'm excited about. This is kind of just to get that conversation going and seeing different perspectives of spiritual students and teachers, and
I think so. And really, when I thought about creating the show, and I was speaking to my own spiritual community about it, and the feedback was immediate. Yes, let's do it. And I think we've got all the co-hosts booked now.
Yep.
Till Christmas, I believe.
Yes.
Right after Christmas, we've got a co-host every week that is willing to come up here and talk to you and offer you guidance and insights. We have a range of people that are mediums, psychics, spiritual healers, therapists in different modalities, yoga instructors, astrologists. I mean, we've just going to have a whole bunch of people come and sit here with me, co-hosting with me, and we just will answer questions. Okay, let's say hello, Carolyn Moss. She's lately joined a group and friended me. Hello, Carolyn. Nice of you to join. Norma says hello. And Tara, hello, darling. Tara was a guest on my other show, the Magenta show. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, she was lovely. Okay, so what else we'd like to do with the show is encourage you to ask questions and for you to agree or disagree or give your opinion. That we really would appreciate that. But the other thing we want to do is we just want to have a look at what is the hot topics that are out there of the day, and to talk about how do we deal with life from a spiritual lens. If you were to put spiritual goggles on or look through the eyes of God, and you were to look at some of the chaos and things that are out there going on in the world, when you're supposed to be more spiritual, you're supposed to deal with things more differently, right?
You are? Oh, I think I missed that day. I missed that lesson.
You missed that lesson.
No, just kidding.
So the 707 show, the concept was to create a platform for a chat show, first of all, to bring a community together. And it's a group. It's not just a live show. This live show is going to happen every Tuesday night. This is how we're starting off. And the group itself on Facebook is to engage you during the week as well. So that it's not just going to be about a Tuesday night. If you've got anything that happens, like the Pope is in Italy and saying weird stuff, we want to talk about it. The group is there for you to discuss that and to engage with other spiritual leaders and to get their thoughts on it. I think that about covers it.
Yeah, and I think that's something we're going to talk about, more each week. We really want it to be continual conversations and thoughts.
So Shannon and I were having a look. There was a post earlier where they went out. This is kind of what we want to do on the 707 show, to talk about things that are relevant and kind of hip and happening. So a couple of hours ago, or earlier this day, a lady called Ria Ann posted something here with the title "Coming Out of the Closet." So we had a little look at her post, and we thought, this is exactly why we're doing the show. The synchronicity of her putting this post out there was just fantastic, wasn't it?
It was great. Great material. Thank you.
So she says, I've kept pretty quiet about going too in-depth about my personal journey. My call to serve and do the work has been a calling I followed, and I'm also present to using that reasoning to circumvent revisiting my past experience from a very young age. And she lists the various things that happened to her. And and the definition of trauma is a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. That's kind of what she had in her childhood. And she says, our resilient nature is to endure conditions. Now, this is what most people out there do. They just endure whatever the world throws at them, right?
Yes.
And even when in the experience of trauma. However, in this space, our ability to integrate our emotional experience is challenged. And much like many out there that go through distressing events, blocking out bits of memories that would be easier to forget is what she decided to do. That's what she said she did. But here's the important thing. The ironic thing about memory repression is it actually never truly results in making the experience disappear. Instead, we set aside pieces of the experience, unconsciously storing the distress deep in an unwanted memory bank, creating incomplete gaps of our experience. And these gaps and repressed memories then show up later in life as triggers that keep us bound until we're ready to face, clear, and complete. Now, my friends, this is what spirituality is about. It is when those triggers come up in our lives and we are forced to face, clear, and bring to completion those unresolved emotions and traumas. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. As you were reading it, I was thinking about, something that we talk about a lot, the addiction, we talk about addiction, but of control. People hear the word addiction, they think about, alcohol, booze, food, like those types of, addictions. But while those are definitely addictions, there's other addictions that people don't talk about. And control, is such a huge one. Whether that's I want to control my partner, I want to control time, I want to control when something great is going to happen to me, I want to control the outcome of something. And just when I was reading her thing about the memories and suppressing those memories, and it just made me think, I wonder how much of that feeds into the addiction to control, because you couldn't control the trauma that had happened to you at the time. You suppress that, so it comes out in a different way. You want to control everything now, even though you're not equating that back to that repression.
Completely, I completely agree. And I think a show like this, because we really want to talk a bit about what the show is going to do for you guys and for this group that is on Facebook, is to acknowledge that when you start seeking to resolve your traumas from the past, when you want to look at your life from a different perspective, when you want to shift into forgiveness, you want to let go control, when you want to stop being in judgment of yourself and others, that is a spiritual act. That is when you become spiritual, because because I had to be very careful when we wrote the description for the for the show, that it's not about religion. This is not spirituality to say, oh, the Catholics are bad, or or the Jews are this, or it's not about that kind of segregation and the traditional cookie cutter box that spirituality sometimes is presented in as religion. This is about a deep self search of yourself, trying to find meaning to your life, and trying to tap into morality, which is about being kind and being generous and being conscious. I think that's spirituality's biggest challenge. It's conscious. Yeah. I'm conscious of what I think. I'm conscious of the energy I put out there. I'm conscious of what I write. That is what expansion of consciousness means, or becoming self-aware. To me, that's what spirituality is. And this is why the show is created, because there are so many people waking up, wanting something. Are you noticing it?
Yeah. I mean, I know, it's one of those things, do I notice it because it's something I'm going through, right?
Yeah.
When you buying a car and you've never seen my partner, I saw him on there. Hey, Colin, he bought a new car earlier this year, and it was this white Ford Escape, and I needed to have the platinum diamond paint job. I'd never seen anything so sparkly and white before in my life. Now I see one everywhere I go. Not his, the same paint job, the exact same car everywhere I go. And so do I notice more people being awake because I'm awake? It's that catch-22. Is it happening more? I'm not sure.
I think it is. I think it's not just because it's you having woken up spiritually and looking for a different foundation it's a different set of beliefs to put your life on. Yes. Because everything is a belief system. We live by what we believe.
Yes, absolutely.
If you were a strict Catholic and you followed a strict religious order, and then you suddenly became spiritual, you just swapped it for another set of beliefs. Everything is a belief. Even spirituality, there's layers of different beliefs that are in. And but I think the moving away from systems that control, manipulate, or indoctrinate is that awakening is happening. People want something more freer. You can see it in the business world.
Yeah. And now I'm as we're talking, that's what we get to do, is change our mind and change our opinions. But I also think it's becoming more acceptable, more mainstream to be able, even to, talk about meditation, right? And in 5 years ago, we can go back however long we want, but, even 5 years ago or 4 years ago, I was going through, major anxiety, and people kept telling me that I needed to meditate, but nobody I knew meditated. Like, people would say that, but they didn't meditate. How do I meditate? I don't know. And now, like, children are meditating in schools, so definitely it's becoming more acceptable to talk about.
When you see those spiritual practices moving into mainstream, into the business world, into the education systems,
right?
And they were considered woo-woo or fluffy.
Yes. Even if the kids jump on it, like there's a saying now that the kids say, and maybe it was yesterday and it's not cool anymore, but I'm pretty sure it was cool a week ago, is the kids say, woke AF. Yeah. It's everywhere, right? And it's a play on being awakened.
Sarah DeFelice just came on and she said, "Hello, beauties. Looks awesome. Thanks, Sarah."
Thank you.
And there again, Sarah's another example, because she started her 5D network, her own Facebook network, and of course everybody's doing it. But a year ago when she launched it and she wanted to get going with it, was a new idea. Nobody was doing it.
Yes.
And I think the minute somebody takes a concept, whether it's spiritual or business or anything, and they pluck it out of the ethers, out of thought form, and they start putting shape and solidity in the material world around it, everybody else picks up on it and copies it and emulates it, and you know how it works. Everybody copies. That's why they do patenting.
Yes.
Inventions, because someone's going to copy you at some point, right? So it starts off, and I think the more we bring spirituality in shows like this out, for the public to see, and we are willing as co-hosts to be vulnerable and have our stuff out and our opinions and our feelings and our beliefs out there, the more other people are going to feel comfortable to talk about spirituality. It's not going to become this thing that's in the closet, which is why I like Rianne's post, out of the closet.
Yes.
So are you a spiritual person in the closet wanting to come out? Let us know. Are you noticing other people coming out of the closet? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. But this show has been created for you, so that as you awaken And as you begin to want to look at your life differently, we need to have a few answers and ask a few questions. Yep, there we go. Sarah's saying, "OMG, looks so good." Michael worked really hard on this show, Sarah. He's done a lot of technology and research. He's been absolutely amazing. Right. So many coming out of the closet. Yeah, spiritual closet. I think so. Yeah.
I'm at the bakery.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say?
No, carry on.
Okay, I was gonna say
This is in. There's
yes.
no scripture.
Yeah.
We go along.
So I'm working at a bakery, a dream bakery. I've been a fan of this bakery for a while. Kelly's Bake Shop, in case you want vegan, gluten-free treats. And I decided, a few months ago, I know, right? A few months ago, I want to work there. I want to be a baker. And that was something that, just as an aside, I never thought that I would do in this lifetime. It was one of those things where, I'm 41 years old. If you were going to be a baker, you should have gone to school to do that. You should have already done that. And I really think my journey through spirituality has taught me that I can be anything I want at any time. And I can just decide that. And that's exactly what happened with this job. And now I'm a professional baker and it's fun. And every day when I go to work, even though I work at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I am stoked when I wake up to go to work. But what I was really surprised about was two things. So we had our very first giant team meeting, and we had to say, it was like an icebreaker, and we had to write down a little piece of paper, something that nobody here knows about you. Now, I'm new. Some people have worked together for years, right? So really nobody knew anything about me, but write something that nobody knows about you on a piece of paper. Then they were going to read them out loud, and you were going to try to decide. And there's like 50 staff members. And right away, I wanted to write down something about my own spirituality. Like one of my modalities, I do the color mirror system is one of the things that I do. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And I thought, oh, don't put that. Like I thought of it first, and then something came up and said, oh, don't put that. This is your first impression to the group. Maybe you should put something.
That's like shoving you back in the spiritual closet.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Maybe I should pick something like, that's more normal. So I sat there. I couldn't think of a single normal thing. And then I thought, forget it. I'm just going to put that. So I put it. And I said, that I'm a spiritual teacher. This is modality that I use. I use it for professional and personal growth. And I thought, whatever. It is what I do. And it was funny. I was so nervous. Every time they picked a piece of paper out of the bowl and read it, I'm like, is it mine? And is it mine? And when they came to me, they read it, and as they read it, somebody in the group, I was still a bit nervous, so I wish I had have turned to look, said, I've heard of that, which I was shocked about that, first of all. And then the response was, what is that? Tell us more about it. And we stopped the game. Nobody else really talked for length, but so that I could explain what it was. And I thought that was really cool, and I thought that was it. I was just proud of myself for making that decision to say, yes, I'm not going to be spiritually in the closet. This is what I do, and I want people to know. And then last week, I work with mostly younger, they're, in their mid-20s, let's say, mostly. And I don't even remember how it started. Oh, I know how it started. She said that she saw 2 foxes separately on the way to work that day. Oh. And I said, oh, well, and it just came out. It's early in the morning, so usually I try to be a little more filtered with my spiritual thoughts and advice, right? But it just came out. I'm like, oh, well, you know what that means. And I just blurted out. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, somebody in your life may be tricking you. It's usually what it means. Might not be big, might be something small, but somebody's telling you something that isn't quite true. And she was like, what? Really? And now I can see her. She's doing her, baking, and she's thinking. And then that was it. She started asking me more questions. And then it was about that. But then she said, so this color thing that you do, what's that about? And I explained it high level. And then I talked about how during my divorce, I was obsessed with the color turquoise. This is before I knew about color. And when I started to learn about color, it all made sense, right? Heartfelt communication. So she started asking me questions. Yeah. Me and my boyfriend, his favorite color is blue. Ever since I met him, I'm obsessed with blue. Everything we do is blue. Like, what's all that about? Yeah. So I'm telling her what I think it's about. She's shocked. Before you know it, all the girls in the bake shop are asking me colors. What does it mean if this is this and this it's that? And I was shocked. I had no idea that these young, you just never know when you say your own. Yeah. Spiritual, whatever it is, you give other people permission to explore it as well.
Well, I think it's I can tell you many stories of how I used to hide years and years ago, and there is nothing more opening up and vulnerable and coming out the spiritual closet than sitting on the chairs right now and giving,
Everybody knows.
Just imagine your family that have thought, oh, Shannon's always been a bit weird. We don't know what it is. They're watching this now, going, now we know.
Now we know. It's official.
It's official.
And I'm owning it.
You did bring in an article that
Yes.
a thing that happened with the Nike thing that's going on right now. I mean, that again is like not keeping quiet, not being saying what you're not being afraid to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, tell them about it.
Yeah,
it's
it
about
was
that Colin guy.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick. So
Kaepernick,
he played for the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL, and a few years ago took a stand. And very interestingly, it wasn't a methodical, well thought out. It was just during the national anthem that particular day. There was a lot going on in the news with law enforcement, as we all watch the news, and he decided to kneel during the anthem.
Yeah,
and
I remember that. Yeah, there were two other blokes next to him. They were all
and it has turned into this giant topic. I mean, it's now 2 years later, and he decided to become a free agent. He was one of the best quarterbacks of, Colin's on here, my Colin, he'll tell me if it's arguably the best quarterback of all time. I think I'm saying that right. But, and a nice looking gentleman as well. But, and he decided to become a free agent because he was so good at playing, and he really thought that this controversy could be separate. And what ended up happening was no one would hire him. So it's now 2 years later. No one in the NFL will hire him, even though he's an amazing athlete, because he decided to take a stand. And since then, he's started a charity, and he's done a lot of work. But Nike did something that is there's a lot of controversy around this as well. They decided to sign him for his ad, and it's most people are very black and white on this subject. You're either with Colin or you think it's totally offensive and terrible. And so Nike signed him, and this weekend the very first ad came out where it's a picture of his face, and I think it's a picture of his face, and it says, you can see what it says there on the screen, but I saw that on the weekend and I got chills. Stand up. It says something along the lines
stand
of
up, or even if it means you have to
sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
And even we just said it right then, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
It's very inspiring, because what he's saying is, I know I'm not fitting into the box norm, indoctrinated thought, believe what's expected of me behavior.
Right.
Because that is a lot of spiritual people coming out of the closet. This is their challenge. It's they know if they come out and say the weird stuff like you've been saying at your bake shop.
Yeah.
If you say it, are people going to say you're an idiot? Are they going to reject you? Can you is your family not going to love you? Are you going to be ostracized and be the black sheep of the family? And those are the kind of fears that make you, or in his case, he could be jeopardizing his whole career and all the contracts he has. Well, he has.
Yeah.
And of course he's not the backlash that he's getting, and Nike having to defend him and stand up for him. That's not a nice feeling. You never want somebody to have to defend you. You kind of want to be authentically yourself, and not worry what anybody else says. But now there's all this money is involved. He is having to now really stand his ground. It's going to be so interesting to see what Colin gets up to. So we're going to keep an eye on him.
And what happens with Nike.
And what
because
happens,
he had a contract with Nike before, and because of everything that happened, it kind of just sat stale for a while. And so they came out and redid the contract. So it's a whole brand new contract around this concept. And there's already been some controversy, some very big celebrities coming out and publicly burning their Nike, and so it'll just be very interesting.
We need to
see
get
how
your
it plays
Colin
out.
on the show,
Yes.
and so we can have a boy's perspective.
There you go. Well, he is booked for October 16th.
It is. Well, by then we'll be able to follow up on
be able to
this
follow up on it.
See what's happened. But I hope that just by Shannon and I sharing, the show and the stories, that if you feel you need to come out the closet, that you'll be inspired and move beyond your fear, and actually let your family and friends and colleagues know what your real beliefs are, what your real feelings are.
I have found with most of the people that really, you worry about the people that you love the most and what they're going to think, even though I know we shouldn't. And I have found that either they say nothing at all. Yeah. There's no ostracizing. There's no, weirdness. Either they don't ask me about it at all, or what happens more so is like my family, one by one, pulling me aside at a family party and saying, hey, I got to ask you something. And because I'm willing to be out of the closet, they want to have that one-on-one conversation with me. So
they're ready. Everybody, it's our own fears that stop us.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. When you're fearlessly, and you want to be authentically you. You don't want to be dancing to someone else's tune. So going forward, we've got to wrap up the show. We did a poll on the 707 show Facebook group, and not a poll, but we just asked people's opinion. What kind of topics would they like to see discussed between the co-hosts here? And Michael said, what is a spiritual leader or mentor? So that's one topic. So we'd like you to kind of go yay or nay at this point if this is something you're interested in, and let us know. Madeleine Land, she's somebody from the UK, I believe. She says featuring features of the awakening. I know there'll be many really awakened souls here, and that it's been rolling along for a while now. However, it does seem there's been an accelerated upsurge recently in the UK with many more people waking up, becoming more aware. She's noticing it. Very often unusual things are happening to us, but we're not sure why. I just accept it as an awakening process. I love this because I actually replied to her and said that when I was going through my awakening process, there was a woman who ran a Facebook group. No, she had an email thing and a website that said what on earth is happening. So when you had strange back pains and the doctors couldn't explain what was going on, she could explain that there was something happening in the collective consciousness, or there were some spiritual energies about, or astrological forces were upheaval. And that used to be like my go-to, almost like Louise Hay's book, How to Heal Your Life. It's like that kind of go-to thing to find out what the hell's happening. Because often I would get things happen and my ears would be buzzing and weird stuff would happen, and I thought there was something wrong with me, but it was just a frequency alignment and attunement that was happening. So Madeleine, thank you for that suggestion. Joanna Breeze, she's also from Australia, she agreed. And then Catherine Jujak, she's called Catherine the Blue Red Medium. She's actually next week's co-host. She's coming in next week. She's an exceptional medium. You're not going to want to miss next week's show. She says, how about something that will help with understanding an illness or affliction that makes no sense, and how to determine if it's spiritual, energetic, or physical body that needs attention? Yeah, we can look at that. Yeah. Did you pick any there that you fancied?
Well, I have to tell the honest, because I put in my own. I private messaged it. I didn't put it on the group. I'm going to start putting it on the group more. But I said that I would like there to be a show about what it's like to grow up in a spiritual family, because, I have 2 daughters, and they're older now, 19 and 14, but they've definitely witnessed my spiritual journey and had many ones of their own. And I think that's interesting. And of course, with Michael working so closely with you and managing your business. So I did ask for that topic, and I believe that topic is happening on December 4th.
Okay, we'll close it, and we'll put Michael in the co-host.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll produce that one, madam.
I am.
And we'll have a chat about it. Yeah.
Oh, and the other one that I saw at Helen that was interesting, because it's come up a lot in my not in my personal life, but more just in my Facebook feed, is about being grounded. And how do you not sort of float away in your spiritual journey and still stay connected to the real world and the everyday world?
I actually liked the way she put it. She said there's a danger we can become so hyper aware of other dimensions, that's about other energies. We're no longer able to connect with those we can support and empower. And she says, I'm definitely guilty of this. So yes, that is it, because if you become so fluffy and so ethereal, almost so kind of really off planet, that you're not grounded enough. You don't get a website, you don't get a business system, you don't get business cards, things to engage with the real people on the planet. You're not actually serving. So I really liked Helen's one, and Zane had one as well. Zane is that she's busy leading a multi-million-dollar new skincare. She's actually one of my mentoring students in French. She's an amazing woman. She's got a business called Atlantis Skincare. And again, people are creating products that it's like coming out the spiritual closet in business, creating products that are relating to things that are, Atlantis is kind of this mythical place. And she's so busy taking this all over the world and doing these massive trade shows. And I believe she's in Hong Kong right now. And she says, how can you, when you're in that kind of hyper tense mode, still be appreciative and be in the now moment. So she's got a very good one as well. That would be an interesting topic. And then Regina said
she wants to talk about, or she would like someone to talk about shadows, except Regina is booked to be a co-host.
Is she?
So she is.
Oh.
So does she want to talk about shadows during her show?
Regina, when you co-host, we can talk about shadows. How's that go? I'm sure she'd love that. So let's just see, did anybody? Joanne said hello. Well, everybody has been really kind tonight. You've been saying hello and encouraging us, and I hope you've been sharing the show and getting people engaged. And we hope that as the show goes forward, that we definitely get... oh, this is Colin posting as Shannon. What does he say?
He said, I've had so many wonderful conversations with my passengers in my car about my awakening and their awakening. So many stories to share. So he drives Uber. And that, I mean, his awakening is pretty great.
It happened right in front of my eyes.
Yeah. And
it was beautiful.
His friends and family tell him now, like, he's an inspiration. And I don't want to say all he did because it took so much, but from the outside, he left a job that wasn't fulfilling. It was a good job on paper, but it wasn't fulfilling him. And he took a risk and said, while I figure out what I want to do, I'm going to drive Uber. And Paul was so gracious to sort of help him. So he got that just step in and where to go to make the money right away and all of that kind of stuff. But how many people just from that have said to him, you're so inspiring. Like I don't like my job and there's no way I can leave. I can't do it. I'm just afraid. And it's so great to see that and see him inspiring so many people. Mm-hmm.
So I think we've come to the end of the show.
I think we have.
Happy?
Yes.
Did we do it?
Yes.
Are we 707 hosts?
I think so.
Are we 707 hosts? Okay. So really, guys, this is going to be over to you now. So for the next week, please watch the show, share it, get it out into other groups, let other people know it exists. Invite your friends to join the group. We're already at almost 1,000 people in the group, which is really, really great. We've only really just launched it 4 weeks ago, the actual group. So invite friends, get them to join, get them to watch, and let people know that if they are coming out of the spiritual closet, there is a show where we will be talking and sharing with various different co-hosts, different backgrounds, and we're going to just off the cuff have a chat. There's no script, there's no chats, there's no preparation. There's a little bit of research that goes in just to make sure that anything relevant in the news out there, that we can talk about it, keep it real and raw for the moment.
And we really want to we'll try, if that's what you guys want with the show, but is also keep the conversation going within the group for the week. So whether that's about something that we talked about on this show, or even just something that you saw in the news, or something that happened in your life that you want to share, we really would like it to be not just waiting and tuning into the show, but also to carry on a conversation throughout the week.
Yeah, definitely. So the group is there for you. This has been created. This is a spiritual community that's come together, that wants to support you, and that has its hearts wide open, and we are here for you. It is literally our giving back, because we know what it is like to awaken. We know what it is like to go through the shadowlands. We know what it's like to have a deep dark night to the soul. We know what it's like to be ridiculed and to be judged. And, we so understand this path. And if there's anything that we've learned that we can make your journey easier, then we would have achieved. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. This was such a pleasure.
Cool.
Yes.
We're going to do it again.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael. Brilliant producing. Thank you, everybody.